Should FEMA be broke? Like that's my question to y'all. Whoever wants to answer that first, you have the floor. We are back. I know it's been a long time since we did one of these, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Health is wealth. I had to get right. But welcome to Sue Me Later. I'm your host, the villain with the most, Sean Bills. I have a wonderful panel here with me. And of course, ladies first. So we're gonna start with the lady to my right. Save. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Save. I am just your regular schmegular. Let's talk about life and get to the principles of things type person. And I am happy you are back, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, thank you. And Sierra, introduce yourself.
Y'all. So my name is Tiara, or a lot of people call me T, or T Chanel, whatever. I'm just I'm happy to be here too. I'm glad to get into some things. Like,
Yes.
let's do it.
And last but certainly not least, my boy Mace. What's going on with you, Mace?
How you doing? I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're back. And my name's Mace. Let's get it started.
All right, so as we all know as Americans, there's been a lot of things going on, especially this past week. Like it seems like this week has been 20 years of political craziness in one week. And
Mhm.
I got a clip here that I wanted us to take a look at, and I want to get your thoughts on it. It has to do with the current natural disasters that's going on on the southeast and Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, and yeah. So let's take a look at it.
Homeland Security Secretary says FEMA can meet immediate needs but does not have enough funding to make it through hurricane season.
Something we continue to follow here on 10 Tampa Bay. There's a bipartisan group of senators from affected states who wrote the leadership this week saying it's clear Congress must act, saying it may even require lawmakers to come back in October ahead of the election. Here's what Alejandro Mayorkas said about the funding less than 24 hours ago.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have, FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
If FEMA disaster relief funding does run out, FEMA will prioritize only life-saving and life-sustaining activities. Current recovery efforts will go uninterrupted. However, new obligations not necessary for life-saving will be paused.
All right. So yeah, that one there was a little serious. As you can see, FEMA, they are broke. Like, every other middle class American and low class American, they are broke. And my question to you, wonderful people, is that acceptable? Like, why is FEMA of all things broke? And given the news of this past year where we've been allocating a lot of resources to, whether that be the migrants that come into here or Ukraine, Israel, and other things, should FEMA be broke? Like that's my question to y'all. Whoever wants to answer that first, you have the floor.
I'll kick it off. Absolutely not. And as far as politics, it further fuels my view that the Biden Harris administration is an America last organization. There is no reason that the emergency resources for catastrophic disasters in this country should be broke. Like, I'm originally from Florida, so I know all about hurricane season and things like that. Grew up with it. I've been checking on my family back home, and to think that they think that $750 is enough for Americans, when we've seen receipts of illegal immigrants with EBT cards with $10,000 on them. When in California they can give, illegal immigrants $150,000 interest-free loans for homes, like sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Like, but now our people, our citizens, are in disastrous situations beyond their control because it's an act of nature, right? So we think, right? We just gonna say yeah. And there's no money. What do you mean there's no money? Okay, so where did the money go? Right? And if it went to funding illegal immigrant resources, then that's what I would call a misappropriation of funds, and somebody need to be going to court and going to jail.
They gave us $1,200 during COVID. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, that's crazy.
And if you file joint and you had a family, you got $2,400, right? But as much as people pay taxes, and mind you, a lot of this money is going to people who do not put money into the tax system, maybe into the economy, because once they get this money, they buy stuff. But as far as taxes and things like that, they do not contribute to that. But that's our money going out. And these things are supposed to be funded by taxes, right? Or there's supposed to be money set aside for these things. So if there haven't been any emergencies, 2024, nothing I can think of right now has triggered FEMA because it's usually on the news, right? So this would be one of the few times we've actually heard about a disaster that requires FEMA assistance coming into play, and there's no money. Like, what do you mean there's no money?
Yeah, but so they had money during Katrina, but they still didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care about the American people. That's like the bottom line. I don't think it's a Biden Harris thing. I think it's like a political thing. Both sides are working together against the American people.
I think it's a political thing because usually in casualties like these, major casualties like these, the politicians usually have boots on the ground. Like, you see them going to help, you see them going to assist or at least look at damage. And in this highly volatile political climate, they need to be everywhere. Like, Biden need to be out there, Harris need to be out there, Trump need to be out there, Vance need to be out there, Vivek everybody needs to be out there.
I think they have. I think I know I seen that Trump was out there, and I
Mhm.
think either Kamala or Biden went out there, or it might have been both. But I know one of them was out there, and I know Trump was out there. But yeah, that's 750 though, man.
But to
That's
look them
crazy.
people who've lost everything, and maybe some of those people who've lost family members and stuff like that, to look them in their face and tell them, we're taking care of your emergent needs, we're gonna give you $750, and we don't have any more money than that, and we don't have enough money to sustain hurricane season, even though hurricane season comes every year.
Exactly.
Like how do you not have that? How do you wait till there's an actual emergency to tell people we can't help you? And then once the money run out, it's only life-threatening funding. What is that even defined as? What does that mean?
There's funding though to send money to other countries. We're talking about billions of dollars to help other countries, and they cannot help our own people. It makes no sense.
Mm-mm. And it's for
Sad,
emergency
man.
situations. It's like, if you take your own personal finances, you have your savings, you have an emergency fund, you have money somewhere that you don't touch for emergencies, right?
Hmm.
So it should be the same thing. Like, FEMA is strictly
Right.
for mass emergencies, mass casualties, mass disasters throughout the United States, where they have to come in and assist in a large way. If that hasn't really been happening throughout this year, then where did the money go? Somebody need to explain something, because you can't $750.
Yeah, that's
Like,
crazy. That I was making a
Yeah,
joke
that's
about the
crazy.
1,200 because that's crazy too.
yeah.
Like they expected us to get by on $1,200. Like that's insane.
Hmm.
It's look, man.
Like, they
They
really just gonna get me, because they really playing in our face right now. Like, they really
That
Hmm.
playing in our face right now. Like, they really
Per
are insulting our
usual.
intelligence. They really are on some, like, take what we give you type stuff. Like, when they're milking the country, Like
Right. It's gonna be you will own nothing and you'll be happy. Like that's where they're
that's it.
going. Like
Yeah,
Hmm.
1984.
Right.
it's
It's like
and
it's
I
really
like
scary.
I like how you brought up, the Katrina situation, Mace,
Hmm.
because that was crazy. Like, so many people had to like completely redo their
Relocate.
lives. Yeah, like relocate and redo their lives like in other states just
Hmm.
because of the lack of help. Like it was ridiculous. That yeah, it's crazy how these politicians, they want us to invest in them with our votes, but they don't want to invest in us. They don't want to invest in us. So it's crazy to me. And speaking of investing,